So a little update, guys. Got some bad news. So I've been working the last 2 hours at least on trying to get all this shit back in. There's the stock bracket for the alternator and smog pump. Here's the alternator sitting up here. And it doesn't fit. So I don't know what the fuck the problem is. It's been 2.5 years plus since I've had stock heads on, but I don't remember the hose sitting on top of the bracket like that. I don't know if it's the orientation of the bolts in the cylinder heads. I don't know if it's the way you know, the neck comes off the intake for the hose, or what's going on, but even with it, you know, suspended out of the way, it's just on top of this damn thing. It could probably be tucked behind it, but then I'm pretty sure it'd be riding on top of the alternator. So that's the first problem. Probably could be rectified, but not a big deal. So then I started bolting it to the cylinder head, you know, all peachy. Well, then I found out that the size of the bolts in these cylinder heads are different than the size of the bolts that I have from the stock heads. Those bolts there that came with this bracket that are stock don't fit these cylinder heads. It's a different size. For whatever reason, the previous owner that had these heads probably fucked with the size, or Trick Flow puts in a different size, which I don't think they do. I think they use stock size because, you know, over there in that cylinder head, you know, stock shit's gotta fit. So I don't know if the previous owner tapped these heads to bigger bolt sizes or not, so those bolt sizes don't fit. So this went from a relatively easy project that you know, might have worked to pass emissions to something complicated. I'm either going to have to go out and find a bunch of different sizes of bolts to get one to fit and get this damn hose to fit however it's going to fit. I don't know if they'll tuck back behind here once this is bolted flush, which it goes back a good, you know, another inch. I don't even know if that will tuck behind that, which if it does, it'll be riding right on top of the alternator, probably getting cut by the hose, because the alternator goes right here. So I don't know what the fuck the difference is. I'm trying to be calm about it, but I'm really pissed off right now. I don't know if I'm going to put up the other video I shot, and if I don't, the whole reason I'm doing this is because of this. I don't know if you guys have emissions, but if you read right there, emissions test is required. Right there, it says 1989 Ford convertible, and expires February of this year. That was last month. Now, I've been procrastinating because I didn't think the car would pass, but then I read about how a lot of people, I read on a Camaro and Corvette forum how they passed without their EGR shit. So I said, fuck it, I'll put the shit on. Well, nothing is fitting right at all. So I'm really frustrated at this point, and I hate to say it, but I'm really thinking about changing everything. And when I say that, I mean pulling the intake, pulling the cylinder heads, and pulling the cam, and selling them all. Okay, what I would do in the meantime is I'd find some GT40 heads or stock heads or whatever, I don't give a fuck. I'd put them back on. I still have the stock cam. I put the stock cam back in, and I still have my Typhoon intake. I put Typhoon intake back on. Now, that sounds boring as fuck, and it is. But one, the car would be daily drivable. Two, it'd pass emissions with ease. And three, it would give me time to save. I could sell these cylinder heads for, you know, $800, $900 easy. I could sell that intake for probably $400, $450. It's a ported Victor. I could sell the Trick Flow Stage 2 cam for probably $100 easy. They go for $190, you know. And, you know, as boring as it is for you guys, the subscribers, I mean, realistically, that's what I got to do. And I know it sounds stupid, but that's not where the car would stay. What I would do is I'd buy new Trick Flow heads that have emissions ports. These don't, okay? And these are O-ringed heads. I have to buy $50 gaskets. They're $100, okay, for just 2 head gaskets. That fucking sucks. I bought 2 pairs of head gaskets for these. And every time I do it, it's too much money. I don't need O-ringed heads. If I'm eventually going with the turbo or whatever, I'll just blow the motor apart. Even with the supercharger, if it's it detonates too much, it won't blow the head gasket. It'll blow the fucking pistons apart because the heads are O-ringed and it has O-ringed head gaskets, okay? So what I do is I get Trick Flow heads with emission stuff, so that way I can run all the emission shit, pass these stupid fucking emissions rules, and still make power. I'd probably put the stock heads on, or I'd try to find GT40 heads, because stock heads are fucking garbage. I'd probably port the GT40 heads myself, because I've ported shit before. Run the stock cam, and probably throw the supercharger on top after the emissions are done. With the supercharger, it would make more power than this. With GT40 head, stock cam, and the supercharger, it would make more power than this combo right here. Not by much, I bet, but it would make more power. So it would be more than I have now. Plus its boost, it's the supercharger, so whatever. And then I would, do whatever. So that's what I'm considering, because this is bullshit. I have no EGR stuff. I'm just expected to put the goddamn smog pump on, run it to the stock cats, which when I put the stock cats on this motor, it runs hot as shit, it runs like garbage. So more than likely, it wouldn't pass anyway. And I'm fucking fighting with this thing, and it's pissing me off. So that's what I'm thinking right now. Pull the heads, pull the intake, pull the cam, sell all that shit, replace the water pump because that fucker is leaking. And I'd find GT40 heads, I'd put them on, I'd put the intake manifold on, I'd put all the emission shit back on, pass emissions, pull the upper intake, install the supercharger, and be making more power than I am now, running faster times, boost, supercharger, all that fun shit. So that's what I'm really considering right now. I'm just letting you guys know. I'm obviously pissed off, but that's the way it might have to go. So I'm just giving you a heads up. The downtime would be less than a month. This, like I showed you, expired last month. I have till the end of this month. Today is the 28th. That means today's the 29th, I think. That means I have today and tomorrow to get this thing to pass emissions. I have 2 fucking days. So either I pay the late fee for not getting it done in a month, or I go down today and get an extension, which they're going to charge me $40 for like a fucking temp tack or whatever the fuck they do. All for this stupid emissions shit. So I'm just letting you guys be aware, and I'm sorry. I know you guys want to see new videos. I know you guys are anxious. I am too, but it's just the way it's going to be. If I lived in another state that didn't require, fucking emissions, I would leave it like this. If I was still in Florida, where I'm from, this combo would make fucking, 60 more horsepower easy. I wouldn't even need the nitrous. I wouldn't even need the supercharger. It would fucking fly. It would run 11s, no problem. I guarantee it. With these heads, that intake, and the cam, even the cam, as shitty as it is, it's aggressive, it's trickle, but it's off the fucking shelf cam. It would be a lot faster, and even wouldn't have to worry with all this bullshit. Wouldn't have to worry about fucking emissions. So that's the way it is. I'm still not sold on all that shit. So guys, let me know what your opinion is. Like I said, sell all this shit, GT40 stuff, pass emissions, and then eventually I'd get ported probably 185cc trickle heads that have emissions ports. I'd use the Typhoon. I'd probably get it ported by T-Moss. And then, once the emissions pass, put on the supercharger and shit. And that would probably be done within a month. It's just a matter of finding the parts. I got a buddy that can probably find me GT40 heads in a week. So, let me know what you think. And, shitty situation, but, shit happens when you got these stupid fucking emissions.